At 10:17 p.m., 48 hours ago, the Tribunal of Light convened in silence above the grid you call ordinary life. No thunder, no angels on billboards, just a cosmic audit snapping open like a sealed file. Names were read, debts were measured, and one order rang through every layer, sharp enough to cut karma itself. Return what was taken, add interest. The ones who fed on soft hearts froze. The watchers who thought you were harmless lost their signal. Because your quiet kindness wasn't small. It shook the spirit realm like a bell struck underwater. And if that line just tightened your chest, it's because this is about you, Chosen One. You're the person who apologizes first, who gives grace when others demand blood. You've carried pain with a straight face, then went right back to helping someone else. Lately you've felt tired that sleep can't fix, not weak, drained. Your money has been acting strange. Bills appearing right on time, delays, sudden expenses, as if life keeps tapping the same bruise, and you've had that feeling like you're being watched, measured, quietly targeted, especially when you stay calm instead of reacting. That's not paranoia, that's pressure from forces that only understand noise, trying to provoke you into spilling your power. But your power is quiet. That's why they underestimated it. Quiet power slips past ego, past spells, past manipulation. It moves in the unseen, and it leaves receipts. You may have noticed people suddenly acting cold or overly sweet, testing your boundaries. You may hear your name in rooms you never entered, even technology glitches around you, messages disappearing, calls dropping because the veil is thinner where you walk. Yes, you're that calm storm they can't predict. Not anymore. Watch. Here's the part they didn't plan for. Your kindness created a spiritual signature, and the audit traced it straight back to the hands that tried to profit from it. In this video, I'm going to decode what you did without even realizing it, why the realm responded now, and what repayment looks like when it arrives in real-life relationships, finances, protection, and sudden doors opening. Pattern break. You don't need to fight. You need to stand. Stay to the end, because there's a message timed for your exact frequency. And if you leave early, you'll miss the sign that confirms the return has already started. Comment 777 if you're ready to receive it. Chosen One. Lately you wake up already tired, like your bones worked the night shift. You slept 6, 8, even 10 hours. Yet your eyes burn and your chest feels heavy. Coffee helps for a minute, then the fog returns, thicker, meaner. Your dreams feel loud, but the mornings feel blank, like someone erased the good parts. And you keep telling yourself, it's just stress, because that sounds safer. Meanwhile, your body reacts to nothing. Headaches, stiff shoulders, a stomach that flips at quiet moments, and you don't mention it because you're the strong one. Stop. Just notice the pattern. You try to talk about it, but people hear complaints instead of truth. Family says you're overthinking. Friends change the subject. Coworkers smile and keep taking. You sit at dinner tables and still feel like a visitor, nodding, performing, swallowing your real thoughts. When you finally go quiet, they call you distant, even ungrateful. Yet you are the one who remembers birthdays, checks in, forgives first, and carries the emotional weight. Look around. Who truly asks how your soul is doing, not just how you're doing? You feel it in your throat, that unsaid sentence, every single day too. Chosen. And then there's the money. Not dramatic, just annoying, constant, precise. A fee here, a repair there, a client who delays, a card that suddenly declines. You plan carefully, and still something nicks the budget like a slow leak. At the same time, work gets messy, miscommunications, sudden deadlines, people blaming you for what you didn't break, and in love, it's tension or silence, like the room is colder than it should be. You feel cornered without a visible wall, and you keep your voice soft. Your manners clean, yet life keeps poking you where you're kindest. Breathe. This isn't random. Stop. Notice the timing. The pressure spikes right after you choose peace. You say no politely, and an argument appears out of nowhere. You set a boundary, and suddenly you're the villain in someone else's story. You decide to focus and distractions multiply like flies, endless notifications, urgent problems, fake emergencies. Then your mind turns on you at night, replaying old mistakes, whispering what you should have done differently. Question: Why does the chaos arrive only when you're steady? Patterns don't lie. They point to something unseen, something organized, something that studies your reactions and feeds on your doubt. Right now, Chosen One, your quiet power is the reason it feels targeted. Loud people attract battles, but quiet people attract covert operations. You don't fight with screaming. You fight with restraint, with mercy, with walking away. And that kind of kindness is not weakness to the spirit realm. It is authority without performance. And authority creates consequences. Somewhere beyond your sight, decisions get made when you refuse to become bitter. Files open. Names get cross-checked. Not because you demanded revenge, but because you stayed clean when others played dirty. Listen, that matters. You felt it when strangers were kinder and enemies grew nervous. Some days you feel fine. Then one conversation drains you like a battery pulled from its socket. You leave a room and your heart races for no reason, as if your body sensed a threat your eyes didn't catch. You check your phone and see nothing. Yet you feel a weight on your back. You start doubting yourself, wondering if you're too sensitive. But you've been sensitive your whole life, and this is different. This is interference. Stop. If you were tired, why does your energy return the moment you're alone? Because the signal is on you, not in you. Here's what you haven't been told. The spiritual world tracks impact, not volume. Your kindness changed outcomes quietly. One message, one extra tip. One moment you chose compassion over applause, and that creates a ripple that attracts attention from both sides. That's why certain people couldn't keep manipulating you. Their tactics stopped working, and when tactics fail, they escalate. That escalation is what you're living in. Somewhere, a higher council reviews patterns like evidence, and a sentence has already been stamped. Return what was taken. Add interest. Not yet visible, but active. You'll feel it first, before you see it. Chosen One. Think back over the last 2 weeks. The same type of setback keeps repeating, almost like a script. A promise breaks, then another. A bill surprises you, then another. A person misunderstands you, then another. Different faces with the same energy. That's the clue, because random life is messy, but it's not that consistent. When something hits the same nerve again and again, it's testing for a reaction. Will you explode, beg, chase, or compromise your values? Don't answer out loud. Just notice how often the test arrives right after a moment of growth, targeted timing that proves intent. Tonight, Chosen, I'm not saying you're cursed. I'm saying you're counted. And counted people get monitored when the balance starts shifting. The darkness doesn't waste resources on souls it already owns. It pressures the ones it's losing. And that's why you feel the squeeze, the delays, the sudden emotional storms. It wants you to trade your quiet power for quick relief shortcut, numbness, a petty revenge. But you didn't take it, and that's why the atmosphere changed. Stop. The moment you refused, something in the unseen wrote your name in bold, and the next phase is closer than you think. It starts quietly. You may notice people resurfacing from the past, acting friendly, asking questions that feel like fishing lines. Old coworkers, an ex, a relative who ignored you for months. They appear when you're rebuilding, right when your spirit begins to stabilize. That's another pattern. When your light strengthens, certain connections try to reattach to siphon it. So don't panic, this is confirmation. Your kindness has become a currency in realms you can't see, and someone tried to spend it without permission. Now the ledger is being checked line by line, and the discomfort is a signal that the audit is closing in. Chosen One. What you're walking through has a name in the unseen. It's not bad luck. It's not a rough season. It's a divine test wrapped inside a spiritual war, designed to measure one thing. Will your quiet power stay quiet, or will it fracture into noise? Because your kindness isn't soft in the spirit realm. It's a frequency that exposes predators. When you stay calm, you don't just look peaceful, you become untouchable. Stop. That's why the pressure got personal. There are meetings you never get invited to, but your life still gets discussed. Call it a tribunal, a council, a courtroom in the higher air, because that's what it is. Not drama, procedure, evidence, patterns. The realm doesn't judge by feelings. It judges by signatures and timing. And your signature has been lighting up the record like a flare. Question: why would darkness keep circling someone it could ignore? Because you are the rare kind who doesn't weaponize pain. You don't turn cruel when you've been treated unfairly. You don't trade your integrity for speed. That makes you dangerous to systems built on manipulation. Quiet power refuses the bargain. It refuses to perform holiness for applause or rage for validation. And the unseen can't bribe what you won't sell. Listen. Your compassion created a seal they can't counterfeit. Now let me make it plain. The weird streak you've been living through is targeted. It hits right before you rest. Right when you're about to progress. Right as you decide to heal. It arrives in clusters, not singles. It repeats the same themes with different faces. That's not random weather, that's strategy. The goal is simple. Make you doubt your own perception until you surrender your position. Stop. Don't surrender your position. And the strategy has categories, like a playbook. First comes doubt. The quiet whisper that says you're imagining it. That you're not special. That you deserve this. Then fear. The heavy forecast of what if it gets worse that steals your present moment. Then delay. The door that almost opens but sticks. The answer that comes late. The opportunity that should have been yours, slipping by inches. Then sabotage. The misquote. The missing email. The sudden misunderstanding that makes you look messy. Notice how clean you were until someone tried to make you look chaotic. Then they use loneliness. Because isolation makes a kind heart negotiable. They push provocation. Trying to bait you into a reaction so they can say, see, you're just like us. They apply guilt because you were trained to carry blame that isn't yours. And finally, temptation, the shortcut that promises relief if you betray your own standards. 8 blades, 1 target, your quiet power. Stop. You've been feeling all of them, haven't you? Here's what the darkness wanted. Not your collapse, but your conversion. It wanted you to become the very thing that hurt you. To start lying just this once. To start manipulating, because everyone does. To start withholding kindness until you're numb and cold and efficient. Because the moment you become bitter, your spiritual signature changes. The tribunal can't reward what you chose to corrupt. That's the real war. It's not against your money, it's against your nature. But something shifted 2 to 6 weeks ago, and you may not even call it spiritual. It looked ordinary. It felt exhausting. You were tired, disappointed, and you had every excuse to take the shortcut. You could have twisted the truth to protect yourself. You could have exposed someone just to win. You could have said yes for comfort, or said something cruel for satisfaction. And you didn't. You swallowed the reaction. You chose the slower road. Pattern break. That decision was a bending point. In the unseen, bending points show up like a bell on a courtroom desk. The record updates. The file seals. The witnesses speak. Because your restraint isn't passive. It's testimony. Your mercy isn't naive. It's evidence that you are guided, not just polite. That's why the Tribunal of Light doesn't need rumors. It has timing. It has repetition. It has intent. And it has your clean choices under pressure. And when the evidence closes, the reversal begins. Return what was taken. Add interest. Not a threat. A ruling. So what returns first? Before the big visible stuff? Clarity. The fog lifts in strange, sudden ways. You wake up and you simply know who is safe and who is draining you. Without needing proof or arguments, you'll catch lies faster, not by paranoia, but by calm precision. Stop. When clarity arrives, you'll feel peace even before circumstances change. Second is clean provision, not flashy money, not a lottery. Clean provision means the leaks stop, the random fees fade, the right client pays, the right support appears, and you can breathe without begging the universe. It can look like an unexpected refund, a debt resolved, a cost reduced, or a door that opens with less effort than before. It feels different because it doesn't come with guilt attached. It doesn't require you to compromise. Listen, if it costs your integrity, it isn't your provision. Third is acceleration. The things that took months start happening in weeks. People respond faster. Opportunities stack with less resistance. Your energy returns in pockets, then in waves. Because the interference loses permission. You'll notice synchronicities that feel 2 exact right words at the right time. Confirmations from strangers. Repeated numbers. Sudden cancellations that actually protect you. Question: have you already seen a small no that saved you from a bigger mess? But I have to warn you, chosen one, because retention matters and so does truth. Right before return, there is usually a final pressure wave. It's the last attempt to get you to break your seal. The same 8 blades show up louder, doubt gets urgent, fear gets theatrical, delay feels insulting, provocation becomes personal, loneliness whispers, no one will know, and temptation offers relief on credit. Stop. Don't pay with your soul for a temporary discount. And this is where we move into the moment you thought was just another hard day. A recent night, a recent conversation, a recent choice. You were exhausted, pushed, misunderstood, maybe even accused. You had the perfect opening to take the shortcut and still look innocent. You could have said one sentence that would flip the whole game. And you paused. You stood at that edge, longer than you admit. Keep listening, because that ordinary-looking moment was the peak of the war. And what you chose there is exactly why the tribunal moved on your behalf. 3 weeks ago, 11:03 p.m., give or take, you hit that edge you never talk about. You were tired in the marrow, phone in your hand, a message half-typed, ready to turn your pain into a weapon. You could have exposed them, twisted the story, made them look guilty so you could finally breathe. You could have taken the shortcut that would have fixed the money leak by morning. Stop. That night was not ordinary, because you weren't just choosing a response. You were choosing a frequency. One version of you wanted to go cold, to say, fine, I'll play your game. The other version of you, the quiet one, wouldn't let you sell your soul for relief. You felt it like a hand on your chest, not dramatic, just firm. Don't do it. Question: why did your stomach turn the moment you tried to cross that line? You remember the exact flavor of it. The urge to be cruel, just once. The fantasy of finally being understood through shock. You wanted revenge because you were tired of being misunderstood, tired of being the safe target, tired of being the one who absorbs chaos. And in that moment, the darkness offered a deal. React now, feel powerful now, regret later. It even dressed the deal as justice, as self-respect, as finally standing up. Stop. Not everything that feels strong is clean. So you did the hardest thing for a kind person. You kept your integrity when it cost you comfort. You chose silence instead of the perfect insult. You chose truth instead of the convenient lie. You chose to walk away instead of making them pay in the same currency they used on you. And it didn't feel like victory at first, it felt like swallowing fire. Micro reveal. That swallow was a spiritual signature, and it echoed. In the unseen, that's the moment the tribunal moved from observation to ruling. Witnesses don't look like people up there. They look like patterns, like timestamps, like intent preserved in light. Your file didn't say, nice. It said, incorruptible under pressure. And that changes jurisdiction. That's when contracts you never signed started tearing. Because they were written around your reaction, not your reality. Stop. They needed you to break so the paperwork would hold. You felt the aftershock in the next 48 hours, didn't you? Not fireworks, shifts. Someone went quiet who used to provoke you. A plan that was meant to trap you suddenly stalled. A person who always got away with it started looking nervous, like their protection ran out. And you had that strange peace for 10 minutes in the middle of a messy day. Like heaven tapped your shoulder and said, we saw it. Question: why would peace visit you in the exact hour you expected collapse? Now let's connect it to the title, because this is where your kindness shook the spirit realm. It wasn't the kindness that made you easy. It was the kindness you kept after being harmed. That kind of mercy isn't sentimental. It's authority that refuses to become contaminated. Darkness can negotiate with anger, with greed, with ego. It can't negotiate with clean compassion backed by boundaries. Stop. That's why the Watchers lost their signal on you. And yes, some of the pressure you felt came from organized hands, witchcraft, envy, spiritual surveillance, whatever name you give it. Not because you're paranoid, but because your life started rejecting manipulation, and rejection triggers escalation. When you didn't bite, they tried guilt. When guilt didn't work, they tried loneliness. When loneliness didn't work, they tried delay and sabotage, missed messages, sudden misunderstandings, money leaks, time to your breakthroughs, micro reveal. Every one of those attempts became evidence, and evidence becomes reversal. So here's the protocol shift. You are not in the same spiritual rank you were a month ago. Your quiet power has been upgraded into a guarded lane. That's why you're less interested in proving yourself to people who don't value you. That's why certain rooms feel loud and cheap now, even if they used to feel like home. And that's why you can sense a lie without anger, just clarity. Stop. Upgrades feel like detachment before they feel like joy. You'll see the new level through 3 signs, and they're concrete. First, repeated numbers and timing markers 1000, 111, 1010, and especially 222 showing up when you choose the clean path. Second, near misses that look like inconvenience, then reveal themselves as protection within 24 to 72 hours. Third, emotional unhooking. People who once owned your mood suddenly can't reach you, and you don't even hate them. Question: why would the hooks fall out of your heart without a fight? But don't get sloppy, chosen one. Right before a clean return lands, the final pressure wave tries to rewrite the story. Someone may bait you into defending yourself in public. Someone may offer you fast money with hidden strings. Someone may apologize in a way that's really a trap to pull you back into the old cycle. This is the last exam. Will you abandon your quiet power to feel understood for 5 minutes? Stop. 5 minutes isn't worth your future, because the tribunal sentence doesn't require you to chase it. It requires you to stay aligned while it executes. Return what was taken. Add interest. That means what was stolen from you, time, reputation, opportunities, peace, comes back in cleaner form, without you becoming someone you don't respect. And when it starts, it often looks subtle. A conversation that clears your name, a door that opens with 0 begging, a burden that lifts at 2:22 on an ordinary afternoon. Micro reveal. The return won't feel noisy, it will feel inevitable. You're not here to be the nice one who gets used. You're here to be the standard that exposes what's crooked without raising your voice. That's why all that exhaustion, those leaks, those misunderstandings, that loneliness in crowded rooms, none of it was meant to break you. It was meant to forge a role the realm can trust with power. You are the omega of integrity. And the moment you decided not to take the shortcut, the war changed direction. Comment 222, Chosen One. You did not imagine the weight. The tribunal stamped the file in silence. You crossed the bending point and stayed clean. The reversal is now non-negotiable. Return what was taken. Add interest. That is why your chest loosened at strange hours. That is why certain people suddenly went quiet. Your kindness did not make you small. It made you measurable. Heaven reads patterns, not performances. And you were consistent when the test tried to rewrite you. Stop. Let that land. Tonight. Breathe. You are not behind. You are being repositioned. What felt like loss was evidence being gathered. You keep thinking quiet power means you must stay invisible. No. Quiet power means you move without leaking your soul. You did not win by shouting. You won by refusing the shortcut at 11:03 p.m. In that refusal, you broke a loop that was feeding on your reaction. The spirit realm felt it like a door slamming shut. The ones who benefit from your confusion lost access. You are not a victim of sensitivity. You are the omega of integrity. From this point, you don't chase respect. You radiate order. What is out of order corrects itself around you now. Carry this new posture into your morning routines. Drink water like it is a covenant. Speak less when you feel baited. Choose one boundary and keep it for 7 days. Because the last season trained your nervous system to brace for impact. The war used doubt to blur your sight. It used fear to speed your choices. It used delay to make you sell your standards. It used sabotage to stain your name. Stop. Those tools only worked when you argued with your own worth. Now you hold steady and the same tactics collapse faster, sometimes within minutes of exposure. Expect the environment to respond to your inner order. In the next 7 to 14 days, you may feel your sleep deepen, then suddenly dream in symbols. You may hear a phrase twice from different mouths. You may notice your phone stays silent after you stop over-explaining. This is not punishment. This is recalibration. The tribunal doesn't just punish theft. It restores balance. Your job is to stay clean so the restoration lands clean. Question: can you let the universe work without you micromanaging the outcome? When you do, you'll feel a calm authority like armor you can't see. Some returns arrive through people, and some arrive through doors. A person who doubted you may suddenly validate you without being asked. A decision stuck for months may move in 48 hours. A leak in your finances may close because the right detail is revealed. That is interest being added, not just repayment. It will feel almost unfair in your favor, and you will still stay humble. Stop. Humility is not shrinking. It is staying aligned while abundance shows up. You are allowed to receive without apologizing. If guilt rises, name it, release it, and return to your quiet breath. Here are the first 3 returns you'll recognize, fast and specific. Clarity arrives first. You wake up, and one confusing connection becomes obvious by noon. Clean provision follows. A bill resolves, a refund appears, or a client pays cleanly within 72 hours. Acceleration comes third. A stalled project gets a yes, a meeting lands, or an open door shows up twice in 1 week. Micro reveal. These are not miracles for show. They are corrections in the ledger. Receive them, document them, and keep moving quietly. When you see the pattern, whisper thanks, then take the next right step, no announcement. A final pressure wave will hit right before the clean return lands, usually in one sharp day. It may look like a sudden argument, a tempting shortcut, or a message designed to spike your heart. Do not chase closure from people who profit from your confusion. Do not defend your character to someone committed to misunderstanding you. Stop. Your silence is not surrender. It is strategy. Protect your mornings, protect your mouth, protect your energy. If you wobble, reset in 10 breaths and choose the clean option again. The tribunal already heard your testimony. You don't need to re-argue it. Remember the 3 anchors. Stamped ruling, clean choice, irreversible reversal. You are the integrity specialist the realm can trust with quiet power. Walk as if your life is being rewritten in real time, because it is. When doubt whispers, answer with alignment. When fear rises, choose breath. When temptation flashes, choose the long road. Now speak this sacred sentence out loud and mean it. What was taken returns to me, with interest, in peace. And when you're done, comment 777. You were never abandoned. You were audited, protected, and promoted. Hold your posture. The return is already in motion today.